A curveball.
All good? Let's do it.
Throws with good velocity.
Marty Abzishin, the plate umpire, says, let's do it. Right on, Marty. Let's go. Game 2. Starting only an hour after we were supposed to start Game 2. And a strike begins. Shaylee Ackerman to Jordan Fabian, the senior from Hanahan, South Carolina. Don Brown's at first. Today, Tom Myers over at third, our umpiring crew, for Game 2 of this 4-day, second day of the SEC tournament. Fabian, one of the senior leaders for South Carolina, fifth-year player, who doesn't hit for much of an average, but gets on base like crazy. 28 walks, hit by 11 pitches, and good power as well. She doesn't get on base here, though, as Ackerman rips one through the zone for a 3-pitch strikeout.
It's a good start. Shaylee Ackerman went right at Jordan Fabian, throws this rise ball, a little bit of a low rise in the zone. Didn't really expand the zone, but like I said before, she'll work more north and south in the zone, throw with good velocity in the upper 60s. Also has good spin to go along with that velocity. Little rise, drop, change mix that she will throw.
We had 11 strikeouts in our first game. Is that the first strikeout on a rise ball today?
I think it might be.
It was a drop ball bonanza, and then after Sydney Berzon had 7 strikeouts on that, Ali Kilponen had some curves. Ole Miss only struck out one LSU batter in a 10-inning win.
Even going back to last night's game, I just have that we had 1 strikeout on a rise ball, so It's good to see the rise ball again.
The rise is back, baby. That rises out of the zone to Zoe Leno, junior third baseman. Leno's had a nice season and had a great series against A&M in mid-April. 6 for 9, 2 doubles. A series that South Carolina didn't just win, they flat out punked Texas A&M. Run ruled them in the last game, combined 15-2 score over the 3 games. From that point on, South Carolina took that A&M would go 7-2. South Carolina would go on to be swept by Georgia and lose series against Auburn and Tennessee. And there's a hit by pitch. They are ball magnets here at South Carolina. Leno only hit for the 3rd time this year, but South Carolina hit for the 57th as a team.
You can see, though, that Leno right on top of the plate, crowding the plate, and Shaylee Ackerman trying to throw that rise ball up and in. Just barely got her.
Bring up Riley Blampede. Junior center fielder has started all 53 for the Gamecocks this year. 13 doubles, that leads the team. 6 home runs, tied for second. To third base. There's one quickly, and there's 2 just as quickly. 5-4-3. Wiggins, Harper, and Cannon.
You're right.
It's a changeup that Bev Smith says she can throw in any count. Oates, and she begins with a strike to Coco Woolley for a Texas A&M team featuring only 2 senior starters and a sophomore and a freshman at the top. Up and into Woolley. I got the hand or the bat. Marty Abzishin says I got the bat, and it's a foul ball for strike 2.
And one thing to remember, too, about Coco Woolley is that she's playing with a splint on her left hand, so that pitch was up and in on her hands, hoping that it didn't hit her broken finger. Ended up hitting like the knob of the bat.
Slapped foul, and it stays 0-2. Woolley, the leadoff. 1-2 for Coco Woolley. .379 on base percentage, and does have some gap power. A little bit of a triple threat at the top of this Texas A&M Aggie lineup. And Woolley sprays it into right. It's grabbed by Jen Cummings for the first out.
you mentioned the changeup, Kevin, of Carson Oaks, and that she does have an outstanding changeup. You scouted her right coming into this game. She'll throw in the low 60s, bit of a curveball, rise ball mix, but that changeup sets everything else up.
You have no idea the amount of time I put in on Synergy to catch that.
Just cruising through games.
Yeah, that's why I didn't sleep last night. Amari Harper, one of 5 lefties in the lineup for A&M. The only freshman starter. Harper pokes one wide of third. Blankenship in the shortstop hole, and not in time. Harper chopped that last step through the base, but still beat it out for an infield base hit.
When you think about it, Kevin, there's so many new faces on both of these teams. There's a new face of Amari Harper, who slashed that ball to the left side, a freshman, and then a transfer shortstop from FSU, Brooke Blankenship, who was a good get for South Carolina, who made this play close at first. Harper just barely beating out that throw.
It's a long lean into it and a short step after, but Harper is in there. 6 for her last 11. And the Aggies with a base runner for Trinity Cannon. Big cut from Cannon at strike 2.
It's that off-speed pitch right there. Dropped it down to 57 to the power hitter, the one that hit the home run in the South Carolina series, Trinity Cannon.
And a strikeout. Goes down, then goes up to pick up her first K.
The off-speed pitch set up the hard and inside. So this is the off-speed pitch, gets her to chase out of the zone. Then you go hard and in, up and in her hands, and she takes that pitch, not looking for it whatsoever. Freezes Cannon.
Julia Cottrell, first pitch swinging, down to Zoe Leno at third, and the inning is over. Nice infield defense for each team.
Trisha Ford, they didn't have one in the Pac-12 when she was there, so that postseason feel really important, and she said it's important for them to come out and compete.
It's a shame that they didn't have it last year, Courtney. This is the first year of the Pac-12 tournament. Trisha Ford and Arizona State won the regular season in the Pac-12 last year. She gets a chance now with A&M as a 7th seed, their best year in 5 years in the league. And this is a program I know you know very well, Amanda. Obviously, you played at A&M for Joe Evans, who did such a fabulous job under a long time at A&M. What has Trisha Ford brought to this program that you like as an alum?
I think the consistency this SEC season with the road wins, the series wins.
Black with a tapper to third. Wiggins throws her out.
And I think, too, just that mentality of the players coming to her about the revenge tour, that chip on their shoulder, kind of blue-collar mentality. And you can tell with the way that A&M has played, they played with that chip on their shoulder right out the gate in February, picked to finish 12th in the SEC. I think that sat with them at the beginning of the season, and they wanted to prove some people wrong, and they did.
Here's Jen Cummings. This is a player that Trisha Ford saw a little bit of in her time at Arizona State. Jen Cummings, a transfer from Washington. Big addition. Cummings back to the circle. Ackerman takes her time for the out.
Yeah, and you mentioned no conference tournament at Arizona State, but she was at Fresno State before that, Stanford before that. So at every school that she has coached at, there has not been a conference tournament. So this is literally her first conference tournament to ever participate in.
Well, listen, Trisha Ford's had a fantastic career. She's won 430 games, and she's never lost a conference tournament game.
Right.
How much better of a resume do you want than that?
I know, it's perfect.
2 down for Marissa Gonzalez, Carolina left fielder. Sophomore Gonzalez had a big step up after being a part-time player last year. 10 doubles, .379 on base percentage. There's a balance in this lineup. There are a lot of good numbers. There aren't a lot of numbers that overwhelm you for South Carolina. It's hard to focus in on one player, which is part of the reason why South Carolina's had such a good year.
Yeah, I think that their transfer pickups were huge for them. And I think that Josh Bloomer, their hitting coach coming over from Duke, was a big pickup. Talk about the biggest moves in the transfer portal, but I feel like in terms of coaches moving around, what Josh Bloomer has brought to South Carolina with everything that he accomplished at Duke with their offense was a huge get for the Gamecocks.
Let's hope they're base stealing as well. Flare to the right side from Gonzalez, and that's the inning. A 1-2-3 for Shaylee Ackerman. No score. South Carolina and A&M. Winner of this game gets Georgia tomorrow. Winner of that game will face either Auburn or Ole Miss. The surprising Rebels as an 11 seed upset LSU in 10 innings in our first game. Going to make for an interesting few days for LSU, which was 6th in the RPI and would love to secure a top 8 seed to be a potential super regional host.
I would imagine that Arkansas is going to get a good crowd tomorrow night when they play. The attendance records that they've set here at their home field have been so much fun to watch. Even the Saturday, Sunday, Monday series against Tennessee was sold out all 3 games. And that Monday night game sometimes doesn't have the best attendance because it's a weeknight after all, but not here. They sold it out. Huge crowd behind the Razorbacks.
2-2 Carson Oates to Morgan Smith. This is one of the really great parks in the league, and Arkansas the last couple of years has had a few different games smashing attendance records. This is one of the highest capacity venues in college softball as well. Had a game in 2018 that had almost 3,450 fans, 3,448. At the time, that was the 3rd highest home game in NCAA history. Smith to the left side. It is tracked down by Brooke Blankenship for the out.
And I mean, the fact that Tennessee won the SEC for the first time since 2007 and just kind of connecting the dots. If you're like, man, I wonder what was happening in the year 2007. Well, Monica Abbott was the pitcher for Tennessee. It was her senior year. So you go all the way back to Monica Abbott being on the team was the last time that they won the SEC.
Paul.
I think what you're saying is we just needed, Monica Abbott to retire for Tennessee to win another title. Are those the dots you're connecting?
No, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Need her to write a book and put it out, and all this stuff has happened since the last time that they won.
So, Amanda, interesting. Monica Abbott, obviously the ace for Tennessee back in the 2000s, but now Tennessee's got a pitching staff. So how do you see the Lady Vols developing this year compared to what they did when Abbott was in the circle?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we asked Karen Weekly, what's it take to win an SEC championship? And before I could even finish the question a couple of weeks ago, she was like, pitching, a deep pitching staff. And so that's a big reason why they won the SEC. It's a big reason why, too, that could go deep into the postseason because they have a lot of different looks around Ashley Rogers, who's been their ace for so long. But bringing in Peyton Gottschall, the transfer, and one of the best freshman pitchers in the country, Carlin Pickens, rounds out their deep staff even beyond that.
Rylan Wiggins, the batter here, in a full count against Carson Oates. It's a very important phone call being made right there. Early call to the bullpen, perhaps?
Maybe to her mom.
Rylan Wiggins started all 52 for A&M this year. Not a ton of power. Gets on base at a good clip and has had a nice couple of weekends. Wiggins in the air to shallow left and grabbed by Gonzalez. 2 up, 2 down for Carson Oaks here in the second.
And right now, Carson Oaks just eating A&M up with that changeup. Throwing it over and over and over again, 3-4 times, and in at bat.
Face Bree Warren with 2 out, nobody on. And Warren not close to that changeup. She's mixing speeds very well these first couple of innings.
Oh, very well. And even to Morgan Smith, she fell behind because of her changeup. Morgan Smith was taking it, and she's so persistent with it. Threw it on a 2-1 count, got Morgan Smith way out in front of it, but throwing that pitch multiple times, back-to-back-to-back times sometimes, can be so frustrating as a hitter because these hitters get so used to hitting upper 60, 70 miles an hour, and it can be so frustrating to face a pitcher who's just barely getting above 50 on most of her pitches with her change.
Out of the box.
Warren Bunsich, who's out of the box. Out either way. And on we go to the third. An early pitcher's duel. Carolina have stolen 109 bases, which is by far a school record. And Josh Bloomer does a wonderful job there of telling his hitter to stand there and be drilled by the pitch. Julia Desiderio gets blunt, but yeah, it's a young team still. And Josh Bloomer, Courtney mentions his work as a teacher. And 7 years, high school coach in Louisville, coach, teacher, head coach in Mercy Academy at Louisville before that. This is a guy with a master's degree in education. Sometimes that can really work when you're coaching young athletes.
She liked, too, just the amount of questions that he asked their team and asked recruits, including transfers that they were able to pick up from the portal over the summer.
And the dirt skips away from Cottrell, and a wild pitch thrown by Shaylee Ackerman is going to move Desiderio to second.
One ball, no strikes.
So Ackerman's hit 2 batters and thrown 1 wild pitch. And Emma Sellers, the sophomore, batting.
Yes.
Sellers trying to bunt again. She went.
But I think picking up him was a big reason, too, that they got so many transfers from other big-named programs, including Washington, Georgia, Florida State, and Donnie Goodborn from FAU. Thinking more along the lines of a hitter, though, you want to come and get a chance to work with somebody like Josh Bloomer.
Cottrell fakes a throw through. This might sound like an obvious question, so answer it as obviously or as not obviously as you want. What makes a great hitting coach?
I think just not teaching something that's cookie cutter, looking at the athlete for their strengths and how they move and being able to make them feel comfortable with their strengths and not just constantly try to change them. I think that's the biggest thing, is that hitter wants to feel comfortable and confident in the box, and you do that not by changing everything that they came in with, but by making what they have even better.
Hold up. Reset.
I'm taking Emma Sellers, just a 195 hitter. Doesn't walk much, little power.
2-2.
Pretty good runner in scoring position hitter, though, 318. And Sellers going to chase this one. Cottrell shows it. Shows that she caught it before it hit the dirt. And it's strike 3 for the first out.
And some of these pitches by Shaylee Ackerman are moving. Although Julia Cottrell, you could see she set up on the inside corner for a drop ball. That pitch moved toward the outside corner. It was a good thing that she was able to glove it and keep it in front and out of the dirt for a strikeout.
Here's Brooke Blankenship.
Ball.
Not your ordinary 9-hitter. Started every game this season. Best average on the team, 325. Second best on base percentage at 410. Makes a lot of contact, Brooke Blankenship, in her first year at South Carolina. Makes contact here on a ground ball to short. Woolley makes the play. And Desiderio is at third with 2 down.
Yeah, Coco Woolley talked about her at the plate playing with a broken finger. Her left middle finger is broken, and so after she broke it in a game, the doctor said, well, we can either put a pin in it or you can play with a splint. And her being such a tough player was like, no, I want to play for my team. I want to do whatever it takes. And so she plays with a splint on that left hand. It sticks out of her glove. Also hits with that when she's in the box.
Not only has she played through it, she started every game at shortstop.
Got time.
It's 2 games in a row where we've had a shortstop play through an injury that could knock you out for a long time. Taylor Pleasance in the first game, and there it is. There's the splint hanging out of the glove.
Guys, and Tricia Ford said, look at the example that Coco Woolley and the message she is sending to her teammates. I mean, you see somebody playing through that, Amanda, as a teammate. That's got to be like, okay, I guess we're all in. Let's go.
Yeah, just that hard-nosed mindset of that revenge tour, of feeling like you have a chip on your shoulder, of playing through injury that you can play through. You know, you shouldn't, play through everything, but she's been playing well, too, since she broke that finger, defensively and offensively.
Hitting so well that the joke was, oh, they're going to have to break her other finger.
Yeah, that was the immediate joke, because right away, her first game out, she played very well, got 3 or 4 hits, and that line came out immediately.
The leadoff hitter Fabian chases one to the outside corner. Jordan Fabian struck out her first time on a low rise up and in. Ackerman's had it all working so far.
Ball.
I don't know if some of this movement Ackerman is intending to do that's toward the outside corner, because I feel like Julia Cottrell keeps setting up on the inside corner and pitches keep moving out, but South Carolina is chasing some of them. They're going to need to have more discipline on those outside pitches, especially to these right-handed hitters.
The target there, fouled away by Fabian.
And this is the areas, Kevin, where she gets her swings and misses. Said that she's more north and south in the strike zone, and you can see that with how she spreads the zone, both north with her rise ball up at the top of the zone, and south with her drop ball more toward the bottom of the zone. Look at how much she stretches it on a vertical plane.
And the red, you're looking at the red spots for a pitcher. Fabian down swinging again. To be followed by Florida and Kentucky. It's all leading up to Saturday and the championship game, 4 local, 5 Eastern. And the semis and the final will all be on ESPN2. Next couple of games, Amanda, we've got Florida, Kentucky in the nightcap, Alabama against a Missouri team we saw yesterday. Missouri team that made it to the SEC tournament final last year. What do you look for in our 2 nightcaps tonight?
Interested to see if Alabama pitches Montana Fouts. And Alabama and Missouri always have some good games historically, and I'm interested to see how the pitchers approach each other in that Florida-Kentucky game, having just faced each other so many times.
That has potential to be the highest scoring game of the tournament.
It does.
Because those 2 teams can hit.
Yeah.
But they have had trouble getting anybody out. The 2 worst ERAs in conference play in the league.
2-man.
It's a fly ball to right, alley and right. Gave it a ride, but came up short on out number 1.
And of course, Julia Cottrell's dad, who catches for Texas A&M, is the hitting coach at Missouri. So wondering if she'll come back and watch that game. She was here yesterday watching her dad get that win.
As long as Jeff doesn't have to worry about his team pitching to his daughter anymore. 4 home runs against Missouri 2 weekends ago. Strike 1 to Star Ferguson. It's a pretty settled starting lineup for A&M, but Ferguson has muscled her way in over the last few weekends. This is her 7th straight start. She's 7 for 17 in that span with 2 walks and 3 steals. She came into Tricia Ford's office in January and said, I want to be a starter. First 3 years was only a part-time starter. And Tricia said, well, you have to earn this. And Star vowed to prove it to her that she would. And you are seeing the fruits of her labor the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, has a lot of speed, so that's why the corners like to play her in.
Oh, just drilled her teammate. It's Coco Woolley again, who can't catch a break right now.
She also fell taking her warm-up ground balls in between innings. Just, I don't know if her cleat got stuck in her shoelace or what, but she ended up on the ground. So, been a bit of a rough game for Coco.
And she was nearly hit by a pitch. Other than that, easy day.
Yes, Star Ferguson has been a spark and ended up being a spark, hitting that ball right at Coco Woolley on deck, who could have been a lot worse, I feel like. Oh,
could have been a real Woolley situation. 6 pitch to Ferguson from Carson Oakes.
Yeah, I like the way that Coach Ford talked about how unselfish Star Ferguson was. She went in, as you mentioned, to her office beginning of the year that she wanted to be a starter, not a role player. And it didn't start out that way in February and March, but she stuck with things, kept working hard.
That ball into the left field and a lunging catch in foul territory made by Marissa Gonzalez. Carson Oakes, one time through the order, has allowed an infield hit and nothing more for South Carolina. Senior from Macon, Georgia. Woolley, that's foul. Well, a lot of the same pitchers returned for South Carolina. 5 pitchers came back from last year. It was a South Carolina team that was terrible in the circle, and they add Donnie Gobourne, but other than that, it's basically the same staff. But big improvement for Carson Oakes this year. He's given them a real lift. Bailey Bettenbaugh has been very good. Rachel Vaughn, Leah Powell. So Bev Smith adding some key transfers, bringing in Josh Bloomer. Pitching-wise, many of the same pieces from by far the worst pitching staff in the SEC have made this a middle-of-the-pack pitching staff in the SEC.
Donnie Gobourne is the answer to me when you tell me all of that. I mean, she gets the ball in the big game. She can get 15 strikeouts against a good hitting team in Florida earlier this season. It just takes more pressure off of the other pitchers. Pitch more loose and free.
Woolley chops it towards second base, and Woolley easily beats it out. Coco Woolley with a 2-out single.
Yeah, she's so fast, can keep her feet still and hit for a little bit of power. That's new this year, but she's always been able to put the ball on the ground as she slaps and try to get down the line. Infield single for Coco Woolley, who is just so fast out of the box. That first step out of the box is so good for her. Beats it easily.
Your screen will tell you $165 in 104 innings. She comes out throwing smoke.
Well, and it's a big change, too, because of how many changeups Carson Oakes just threw in her outing. I mean, she was 49, 50 miles an hour. Just now you get to see 70, 70 plus at your eyes.
Strike to Amari Harper. Here's a steal attempt for Woolley, and the throw right into the runner. But the call is safe from Tom Meyer. I think we're going to get obstruction here.
I think she left early at first base, yeah.
Yeah, was leaving early against Woolley. 4th meeting between Carolina and the Aggies. First And Zoe Leno takes one low from Shaylee Ackerman. So you heard from Bev Smith there. Got to swing at strikes, got to be more aggressive. Shaylee Ackerman's second time through. Anything you would tell her to change up or keep doing what you're doing?
Keep doing what you're doing, but I have a feeling this second time through they're going to be a little bit more patient, and I'm curious how she's going to adjust. Good pitch right there. And that pitch that is lower in the zone like that, I feel like the South Carolina dugout is picking that pitch, and actually I think that's why Julia Cottrell might be going out or talking about pitch calling, but they're calling out something, it seems like, whenever she's going more low in the zone with her drop.
For folks who might be just tuning in, a little bit newer to softball, and right on cue, Tricia Ford's going to come out. Can you delve into that a little bit? What teams are looking for in a pitch-picking situation? What kind of tendencies you can see?
Yeah, it can be all different. It can be that she has a different look on her face whenever she throws her drop ball. It could be that she gets more on her legs or stands more straight up, or they see her grip, or maybe Cottrell is giving away something. There's so many different things that could be picked by just looking at the pitcher and off at the catcher and trying to find, are there any tendencies with what she's doing to give us some inside scoop to the hitter?
And it's not nefarious. People here picking pitches. It's not illegal sign stealing. Right? It's a part of the game. You try to gain a tendency legally.
1 ball, 1 strike.
So 1-1 after that conversation between coach, catcher, and pitcher. And Leno with a ground ball to first, scooped by Cannon.
Should be off now, right?
Now, going to the plate for South Carolina, the center fielder, number 26, Riley Lamley.
And still no hits for the Gamecocks. 2 hit batters. And Riley Blampede coming up.
Ball down.
Lampe just through and through South Carolina Gamecock, literally played every outfield position this year for them, third base last season. See, could you hear the dugout just then?
Yep.
They're talking to her a little bit.
Didn't work, unfortunately, for them.
Still a swing and a miss, but
look at how locked in all of the players are, too.
And maybe they're just getting in her head because Shaylee Ackerman does hide the ball in her glove. To get her grip, so we'll see if we can figure it out up here.
Didn't hear much there.
Nope.
And a roller to second for the out. How often is it a situation where you're bluffing as a dugout?
I mean, that's a good point. Maybe. You don't know. Karen John's over there shaking her head. No, I would think that sometimes that would happen to try to get into somebody's head, but maybe I would think more times than not that they're going to have something picked securely.
Ball.
It could be like a student section sometimes with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Going 5, 4, 3. But right now, there's a pretty vocal contingent of Gamecocks, and it's not helping him. Still no hits against Ackerman. Gets a strike on Anaya Black, junior designated player. Transfer from Georgia, who's made a big difference. Bev Smith saying they always feel like they have a shot with Anaya Black at the plate. On the ground to short, this is Woolley. Say what you want, pick what you will. 4 hitless innings for Shaylee Ackerman, all the same.
When you look at the swings and misses that she has and her heat map, it is all up in the zone with that rise ball. She can throw it belt high, she can throw it letters high, she can expand the zone at the eyes. And this is her heat map. That red area is where she gets the majority of her swings and misses. You can see that that is more up toward the top of the rectangle. That's where she likes to live.
Amari Harper fouls it back. All right, so if you're a hitter and you see that heat map, there's nothing at the bottom of the zone, there's nothing below. So theoretically, you say you should be able to key in on the top of the zone, and yet they still don't have success.
Exactly, because she's so good. Her break is so late. We heard it's a good contact right there.
Harper to short, thrown out by a hefty heave from Blankenship. Harper 1 for 2.
You heard Trisha Ford say that she's the one that we were practicing for this whole week, thinking that they were going to probably face her to start the game, and that's why I'm sure that they were so far out in front of that Carson Oaks change-up to get going.
Trinity Cannon standing way off the plate against the hard thrower. I mean, that is some ridiculous speed from Donnie Gobourn. Yes. Into the mid-70s. Donnie Gobourn against Trinity Cannon, the number 3 hitter for A&M, leads them in on-base percentage, barely strikes out, only 14 times on the year. So you get a swing and miss on her, you know your stuff is good.
Well, Zoe Leno, the third baseman, is just playing so far back behind third base, knowing that with the speed that Donnie throws, if somebody makes contact with it, it's going to come at her hard. She's playing 10 feet, 15 feet behind third base.
74 for strike 2.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
The shortstop Blankenship's literally playing in the outfield right now.
Ball.
I feel like her coming out party was earlier this season, whatever, I don't remember the game, but one of the big games that she threw was against Florida, struck out Skylar Wallace 3 times.
High fly from Cannon, carrying into left field, and it'll get knocked down at the edge of the track. Trinity Cannon 0 for 2.
I think you feel good when you're hitting off of her, at least the first time through, if you're not striking out. If you're making some solid contact against her, you're thinking, okay, we can adjust from here.
Is it harder to face a changeup pitcher and then a hard thrower, or vice versa? What was harder for you?
That's a really, really good question. I would say change up to hard thrower.
Why?
Because you're so used to just the ball floating in there like BP speed, and then all of a sudden that 70 feels like 80 coming at you.
Well, Julia Cottrell only saw 1 pitch from Oaks, grounded it to third. Their best power hitter.
It's a big swing right there by Cottrell.
It's going to lead to a visit from Julia Desiderio.
Yeah, I think with the way that Desiderio caught that last pitch, a little bit crossed up, and go on and communicate about it.
Really good defensive catcher, Desiderio.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Sophomore from Hudson, Florida, behind the plate. Oh, Donnie goes off speed.
Gotta go rise ball after the changeup, huh?
Yeah, you got to. Gobourn 4 outs in relief, and now Emily Kennedy on for Texas A&M. Shaylee Ackerman, 4 innings, no hits, no walks, 2 hit batters. So talk me through this. Why go to Kennedy here for A&M?
I have a lot of confidence in her late in the game, and facing a lefty to start off this inning, so like the lefty on lefty matchup. They've used her comfortably in relief, especially the last 1 to 2 months. Pitches better in relief.
Her last 12 games now have been out of the bullpen. And she strikes out Cummings to start.
Now coming to the plate.
Emily Kennedy is a hard thrower from the left-hand side. This lefty on lefty matchup here. It's like a low rise ball inside, right about bell tie to freeze Cummings. Just coming out and throwing hard.
He's got a new catcher, Riley Valentine. They've moved Cottrell into the designated player position right now, so Kennedy and Valentine represent the battery. Now Tricia Ford said to Courtney, we know they're trying to pick pitches. We are messing with them. We're doing different things with the grip of Ackerman. Into center from Gonzalez. Routine for Enright. And I hear Tricia and I ask you, is there any part of this move, do you think, that could have to do with their fear, their genuine fear of South Carolina picking pitches?
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible, for sure. But she was throwing really well. Even though they were screaming out some things, they didn't really barrel her up. She could always come back into this game, too.
doubt.
Yeah. And it also could have been a preset plan. Hey, Shaylee, you're going to go out and give us 4 innings. Hey, Emily Kennedy, lefty, you're going to come in the 5th inning.
Ball.
Even though Kennedy is now a full-time reliever, she typically throws around 4 innings in her relief outings. So both these teams with shorter starts today, and then they go to their relief aces, Goborn and Kennedy.
It's almost like she is a relief pitcher turned into it with starter endurance and starter stuff that can go for a longer amount of time.
And she leads them in innings pitched. And she's thrown 20 games in relief, only started 11. They're the numbers. Starter, good. Reliever, outstanding. Scoreless game in the 5th. And a 3-2 count on Desiderio. 2 out, nobody on. Desiderio, one of 2 Gamecocks to be hit by a pitch. No other Carolina player has reached. And Desiderio hits it well to left field. That's off the glove of Ferguson, who got a late break. And Julia Desiderio smashes the no-hitter to bits with a 5th inning double.
Yeah, Emily Kennedy is throwing hard, so a pitch that's over the heart of the plate is going to come off the bat hard, too.
Now batting the second baseman, 44.
Yeah, they got a big part of the plate right down the middle. Star Ferguson was playing pretty shallow and more toward left center field. That ball was hit on a line. And she had to adjust quick, just out of her reach. Good swing by Desiderio. That ball was hit hard.
Let's go, let's go, let's
Small
go.
sample size, but 6 for 10 against lefties this season, Julia Desiderio. And here is Emma Sellers.
Ball.
Sellers just a 193 hitter, but again, 318 runners in scoring position. Struck out with a runner at second
Ball.
in the 3rd inning. And here comes Riley Valentine.
And
Thought last year was that maybe she'd be their shortstop of the future. Then they got the transfer Blankenship in. She's now their starting second baseman. She has had a tough season at the plate.
Ball.
Sellers showed bunt and has herself a 3-0 count. Did that mess with you as a pitcher when somebody squares a bunt? Does that actually work?
No, not really.
Okay. Did you ever do it as a hitter to try to mess with a pitcher?
No, if anything, it made me more mad to want to throw a strike even more. They thought it worked.
Didn't work here for Kennedy. And the batter with the worst on-base percentage in the South Carolina lineup, Emma Sellers, draws a walk. So 2 are aboard with 2 out for the batter with the second best on-base percentage in the Carolina lineup, Brooke Blankenship. Strike 1 to Blankenship. They added transfers from big programs this offseason. Georgia, Washington, Blankenship from Florida State.
Well, and I think the cool thing about that is that you know that they've been coached really well before they get to your program. They have a good foundation, a good base. Getting to learn from all 3 of those coaching staffs is a win-win coming to the South Carolina team.
Ball.
Desiderio and Sellers the runners. South Carolina's first hit and first walk of the game. Kennedy's 1-2. And she sinks Blankenship, stranding a pair of Gamecocks. And that's the atmosphere at South Carolina they're trying to build. That's why Donnie's fit in. Riley Valentine pops it out. It's just crazy that Donnie Gobourne was not a high school pitcher. It's a shortstop, couple of innings a season. Santa Fe Junior College, Florida Atlantic, and here she is just mowing hitters down in the deepest league in college softball.
She is just so strong. She is so explosive.
Check swing and a pop-up to Sellers. That's Riley Valentine, who came into the game to catch. And she is 0 for 1.
And that changeup just is an additional pitch in her toolbox that she didn't necessarily start out throwing that changeup earlier on in the season, but it's a pitch that they started to use a lot more in SEC play. They played around with a bunch of different changeups and tried everything. It's gotten better and better.
Aggies had an infield single in the first, infield single in the third against Oaks. That's it. Rylan Wiggins. And Donnie Gobourne, well, she's picked up 5 outs because Woolley left early. She's retired 4 batters. She's only thrown 18 pitches. She is going to be fresh here down the stretch of this game.
Yeah, Coach Smith said in the fall, I think that Donnie Gobourne's going to come in and make some noise. Knew that she had so much talent, and she really has made so much noise in the SEC.
Absolutely flailing Wiggins. Went back in the dirt. You can see the changeup growing before our eyes today.
Yeah, you can tell that that's not a pitch that A&M prepared for. From Carson Oaks to then Donnie Gobourne, they are way out in front, just hoping that Donnie Gobourne throws them 70 miles an hour that they can be on time with, and trying to cheat a little bit to get to that 70-mile-an-hour pitch, and then she brings in the changeup, and they're flailing.
Again, that wasn't on the heat map.
No.
Ball.
Ball 1 to Bree Warren. Warren has had a tough season. Lowest average on the team, 177, just a 329 on base. Missed all of last season with an injury. 2 years ago was a second-team All-SEC player. Sometimes it can take a full season after an injury to get back to full strength, and Warren has just not quite had her timing this year. Jordan Fabian, the first baseman, just walked toward the circle with a word for Dottie Gobourne. Warren just missed it. Dottie Gobourne's retired every batter she's faced. 2 innings to go in regulation, still no score.
Welcome out here to us.
At in a uni and go hit for the Aggies. Maybe score a run in over 20 innings, and that'll help him or something. Tori, what do you think?
Hey, you give me a wig, I'll be anybody you want me to be. Give me 4 more years of eligibility. I'm in.
South Carolina's like, no, we're good. We'll stick with this A&M
thank
team
you.
who we are just keeping off the board left and right.
Tori, Kayla, while we have you, was there a pitcher that you faced that reminded you of what Dottie Gobourne looks like?
Ivy Renfro from Tennessee threw really hard, just that rise ball, really piped it in at a high velocity, touching 70 almost every single time she was out in the circle. So that's who I think of in terms of flamethrowers that I faced.
Yeah, I think for me, Kelly Barnhill comes to mind with just the sharpness and the late break on her pitches, and she'll get in your kitchen if you let her.
Absolutely.
That's some pretty high praise again for a pitcher who did not really start throwing until college and is in her first year in the SEC. When Tori Kayla are talking Kelly Barnhill and Renfro, and you're putting Dottie Gobourne and her level of stuff in that kind of zone. Jordan Fabian here. Fabian lashes one deep left field and caught. On the run at Star Ferguson. Put a star next to her name.
I think that Jordan Fabian heard them talking about how many changeups there have been in this game, and she decided to sit back and wait on this changeup that Emily Kennedy kind of gave away in her motion. Star Ferguson tracked it down. That was a well-hit ball, though, by Jordan Fabian, sitting back on that changeup.
So Kennedy to Leno. And dive bombing, strike one.
And I did see Emily Kennedy in between innings in the bullpen working with Trisha Ford, the pitching coach and the head coach for A&M. Clearly maybe feeling a little bit off in mid-game, going to the bullpen and trying to work with their pitching coach to work through some things.
You notice anything mechanically in that last inning?
Well, the only thing I can think of is maybe that drop ball hanging a little bit up. The drop ball has been a little bit more down in this inning. Last 2 pitches that she threw. Remember that strikeout that she just overpowered Blankenship was pitched right down the middle of the plate, thinking that was a drop ball supposed to be moving down, and it just stayed up.
Guys, talking about Emily Kennedy's mentality, Trisha Ford told us she's so proud of her. She changed her outlook. Trisha challenged her, when you go out to the circle, I want you to expect to have success. And she's really improved in tough situations.
And said she wants to be great. Sounds simple, but not everybody has the mentality that Emily Kennedy does. Pretty strong improvement from her freshman year to this season. Walks are a little down. Strikeouts are up. So chopper from Leno. She's thrown out by Harper. Zoe Leno 0 for 2, hit by a pitch. And Kennedy retires the first 2 again.
And Kennedy has exclusively been pitching relief her last 11 appearances. Really sharp in those outings.
Riley Blampede with a big cut.
We have 2 pitchers who just throw gas.
Yeah.
I mean, 70 from the left-hand side, and then you have Donnie, who's throwing 72, 73 from the right-hand side up.
A&M's pitching much better this season. Last year, it felt like their whole staff was injured at one point. A lot of walks, a lot of wild pitches. They've been better this year. 2.75 ERA as a team.
And Trisha Ford is a really good head coach, but she's a really good pitching coach. And she's made a difference in this pitching staff, cleaned up some of their mechanics, and just a coach that coaches a lot on mentality and just gets you.
And a strikeout for Kennedy. So whatever was said What sincerity.
Yeah, then maybe we can do the hot dog or the ketchup and mustard
Yeah,
race.
definitely. Well, we know Courtney's going to be relish in that.
Yeah. Not a big condiments person.
You are not?
No.
What about on a hot dog?
No. Me and Karen Johns.
You don't put
are not.
condiments on a hot dog? I know this is a really good game right now, and I don't
No.
want to distract from the game, but did you really just say you eat hot dogs plain?
Yes.
We'll discuss that after the game for the sake of everyone.
Yeah.
1-1 to Alien, right?
Important dinner convos.
Yeah. Oh, is that where we're going to the hot dog stand for dinner tonight?
Yum.
Amanda's Plain Hot Dog Emporium. Allie Enright in the 8-hole. Nobody on A&M has touched Donnie Gobourne so far. 2 in the 3rd innings. Got an out when Coco Woolley left early. Came on in relief with Woolley at first and has retired the next 6 in a row. 2 strikeouts, 2 flyouts, 1 pop out, 1 ground out. Allie Enright, Arizona transfer, takes a low strike 2.
Yeah, they're going to need to start taking some more pitches like the way that Allie Enright did. Took a close rise ball, took that changeup pretty confidently. Make her start throwing some more pitches and try to get her to make a mistake over the plate.
Got the inside corner there for a called 3rd strike. Gobourne with her 3rd strikeout, and that leads us to Embrace the If, brought to you by Regions. 24 1/3 scoreless innings for South Carolina against Texas A&M this season. You've got to go back to the 1st inning of their 3-game series in April. Trinity Cannon hit a 2-run home run, and things were looking good for A&M. They have not scored against the Gamecocks since. Shut out in consecutive games. In fact, run ruled 8-0 in 6 innings in the last game of that series. And they are scoreless through 5 1/3 today. We'll start Ferguson.
Yeah, I think the key is to start taking some more pitches off of Donnie Gobourne because her walk rate per 7 innings pitched is over 4 hitters a game. So it's a pretty high number when you think about it. So it tells you that she's going to throw some pitches outside of the zone, and you have to be disciplined.
Against A&M this season, 12 2/3. She has walked 6, but she's only allowed 4 hits. A win and a save in her 2 games against A&M in Columbia. And doing everything she can tonight as she blisters Ferguson.
It's just so much fun to watch pitch. The ball just accelerates out of her hand, it seems like. Rise ball, outside corner. And the pop of the mitt is just my favorite thing.
Coco Woolley. The last Aggie to face Donnie Gobourne. Woolley a line out and an infield single against the starter Carson Oakes. Got 8 outs, didn't allow a run. Another swing and miss. And 7 swings and misses. So just 9 hitters faced. Seven whiffs, only 4 balls put in play by Texas A&M hitters.
And when I talked to Coach Smith, the head coach for South Carolina, and also the pitching coach, we have 2 head coaches who are pitching coaches in this game, and asked her what she throws. It's 2-seam fastball, a rise ball, and a changeup. Those 3 pitches.
Bev Smith praised her competitiveness. You go back to this past weekend. Lost a game to Tennessee late in the game. Came back on Sunday. closed out a win over Tennessee, the #1 team in the SEC, to end the regular season. Into right from Woolley. That ball carried but hung up there for Haley Simpson out right. We will go to the 7th inning. Middle of the order coming up. Still time of this game. When that game will conclude, your guess is as good as ours, folks. Nothing doing. 7th inning. 3 hits combined in the game. 1 walk combined in the game. 2 hit batters combined in the game. South Carolina's had 2 runners in scoring position, 4 base runners. A&M has 2 infield hits. Nobody's gotten past first. Emily Kennedy up and into Anaya Black. If anybody's going to bust this game open, this is a good pick to do it. 2 homers, a double, 5 RBIs in the final game in the regular season series against A&M.
Yeah, this is a kind of game that just comes down to 1 swing, 1 mistake, and kind of indicative of the postseason, the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament.
Just ask LSU, which pitched really well. Gave up a 2-run home run in the 10th, but was only there because of 2 debilitating innings. 4 errors between the 3rd and the 5th, gave up 3 unearned runs, and were upset by the 11th seed Ole Miss. South Carolina trying to make it 3 double-digit seeds winning in 3 games, and obviously the first game was 13-12, but it would be 3 upsets on the seed line if South Carolina can win. Black, Cummings, and Gonzalez, righty, lefty, righty against Kennedy in the 7th inning. And Black laces one to right field for a base hit. South Carolina's 2nd hit of the game. It's Anaya Black to get the party started.
That was a great at bat by Anaya Black because she had to be so quick to turn on the inside pitches that were 69 miles an hour at her hands, and then she was able to stick with this pitch low and away. Just shoot it the opposite way. Good piece of hitting, short swing.
Bev Smith's going to make some kind of move here. So bring in a runner for Black. It's Aaliyah White, who is a really, really fast runner. I asked Bev Smith about Aaliyah White when she came up a couple of years ago. She said she has real SEC speed. 11 steals this year, only caught once. White's on the run on a bunt play. Kennedy makes the play on Cummings. White gets to 2nd, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position with 1 out.
Good execution to be able to lay down that bunt. Again, this is a game where 1 run matters, so 60 feet matters.
Not bad for only your 2nd sacrifice of the year for Jen Cummings.
Yeah, you can take it.
Here are the numbers on Kennedy in relief. Where do you look early in the at-bat if you're Gonzalez?
Try to see the ball up in the zone. It seems like Emily Kennedy has been wanting to use that drop ball more.
Up in the zone, and she's out in front of it a little bit.
Looked a little bit off speed, and that's the one thing that I've seen from Emily Kennedy is that off-speed pitch hasn't been quite as sharp, giving it away a little bit.
A 2nd-year Gamecock, Marissa Gonzalez, barely played a year ago. Gonzalez the other way to right field. Warren is there. White will tag. White takes 3rd. South Carolina gets a base. A&M gets an out, and there are 2 down in the 7th.
Number 7, Julie. This is Gary.
Situation right here too, you have to be really careful with the way that Emily Kennedy has thrown that drop ball in the dirt a little bit today. Runner at third base. Freshman back behind the plate. I mean, you've got to be careful with your pitch calling here and where she puts these pitches, not only because the hitter at the plate, you're worried about Desiderio, but because of the runner at third base.
Smacked a double against Kennedy in the 5th. Desiderio with a big rip and a foul tip. 6 for 10 against lefties. Small sample size, I know. You pitched to Desiderio here with Sellers on deck?
Still have confidence, yeah, in Emily Kennedy and what she throws.
Right back to Kennedy. The master plan works out for Emily Kennedy. And pitch 6. She's fresh as a daisy right now. But an A&M run would win it. Amari Harper leads off the inning with a foul ball, strike 1. Harper has one of A&M's 2 hits in the game. Both infield singles, both from A&M's top 2 hitters. Trinity Cannon, Julia Cottrell to follow. 1 to win it for the Aggies. Ball 1. The winner of this game meets second-seeded Georgia tomorrow. A&M on what they're calling the payback tour, looking for revenge after being swept by South Carolina. Into center field from Harper, a little flare, and reeled in by Blampede for the first out.
Now the plate. The first baseman, number 6, Trinity Cannon.
We've already had 1 extra inning game today. We're verging on another. 2 more chances for the Aggies. Trinity Cannon. Hadn't been a lot of good swings against Donnie Gobourne in this game. Trinity Cannon did have one of them, that long fly out to left field in the 4th. And I'm second best power hitter by slugging percentage, and they're best on base, 489 on base percentage, 575 slugging.
And this is where you have to be careful with the power of A&M's lineup coming up. You have a rise ball pitcher in the circle. That means she's going to be more up in the zone, and oftentimes rise ball pitchers are going to give up more home runs. And with the speed that she throws, a mistake can go a long way.
Three 3-0 to Cannon. That's a strike. No base runners against Donnie Gobourne. No Aggie has reached since Wooley's infield hit in the 3rd. Until now. A&M's first walk of the game to their leading walker. Trinity Cannon represents the winning run.
It's a good at bat by Trinity Cannon to draw that walk.
A&M only 1 walk-off win this season. It came against Lamar March 28th. Cannon drove in the winning run in that game. Now they'll hope she scores it with Julia Cottrell. And Cottrell way out in front of that changeup.
Way out in front. So much confidence for Gobourne with that pitch too, because even if she wouldn't have swung at it, it still would have been a strike.
And Dad is watching. Jeff Cottrell, who's going to be coaching Missouri in the next game, puts the dad hat on for this one. Hoping to see Julia Not only hoping to see Julia win the game, but hoping that will allow Dad's team to get on the field.
Missouri shirt, A&M hat, supporting his daughter.
2 strikes.
I think there are a few extra A&M fans in the stadium right now. Cottrell in an 0-2 hole. Cottrell gets a piece.
It's foul.
Able to wait back on that changeup and stay alive.
Well, and remember the last time they were together at the same field, they were playing each other. Julia Cottrell, 4 for 10 against Missouri, and her dad, 4 home runs. She was National Player of the Week that week.
Maybe they should let Dad call the pitches next time. Cottrell got underneath it. That's on the infield for the first baseman, Fabian.
It's a tough at bat for Julia. She got out in front with that changeup, and then she took a rise ball about belt high. That second pitch, that second strike was the one that, if you're hunting a pitch that you're looking for, is a pitch that she could have handled.
23 re-enter.
Morgan Smith's going to re-enter here in the 5 spot. Seven doubles, 2 homers. Marty Abzesian says, hang on a second. Let's get all our ducks in a row. Don't want to rush this. Smith second on the team in walks. Patient hitter, but she will not be patient there.
I mean, has that changeup just taken a new level here at the SEC tournament,
Seems
or
like it.
what? I mean, that pitch is something else.
Anybody that sees South Carolina in their regional is going to watch the film of this game and go, no, I don't want it.
Nobody wants South Carolina at their regional because of Donnie Goborn.
Maybe we're not in the days where one pitcher just throws you through the whole postseason, but if South Carolina can get good enough short starts, kind of feels like Goborn could pitch their way through a regional as this mega relief ace. And she's barely breaking a sweat right now.
And think about it. This is now multiple times that A&M has seen her, and she still is being this dominant. So you take a team that hasn't ever faced her before and imagine what she's going to look like.
They may be one of the most terrifying potential 2 seeds there is in the game.
I feel like that should maybe be a topic on our 7 innings Road to the Women's College World Series show. Terrifying 2 seeds.
Yeah.
After the selection show, we'll have that. I mean, there's going to be a lot of them.
A lot to discuss on the show as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be my long-awaited debut, right, on 7 innings? That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Fouled away by Smith.
Gonna zoom in, give your terrifying 2 seeds.
I think I'm the only person left that hasn't hosted a 7 innings podcast this year. That's
Still got time.
2-2.
There's Maddie Penta.
enjoying a pretzel. 2-2. Strike 3 called. I think that's flipped, but it's still 7 scoreless apiece. It's all really good. 7 zeros for both teams, 2 hits for both teams. 7.6% of Division I games went to extra innings this year. 66.7% of games at the SEC tournament have gone to extra innings. There's a bunt foul by Emma Sellers. We're in the 8th. Kevin Brown, Amanda Scarborough, Courtney Lyle. Eventually, Beth Mowens, Michelle Smith, Jess Mendoza, Holly Rowe, our Hall of Fame crew is going to be with you. But we got to finish the first back-to-back extra inning games at the tournament since 2007. Emily Kennedy and no rush. Emma Sellers with a 1-2 count, 8-hitter. Julia Cottrell's back behind the plate for A&M.
I think it's me. I've had quite a few extra inning games.
You're the problem, it's you?
Yeah. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem.
That's basically what I just said. I don't know why you're repeating me.
Kill me.
No. We need you. We need you.
No, I said you kill me.
No, I didn't hear the you. No, I'm not going to do that. gosh. Emma Sellers drilled in the helmet, and she just shakes it off immediately. Bev Smith and South Carolina staff are still going to check on her, obviously.
Oh, man, that is so scary, even with a mask like that. Wow.
Oh. Sellers going to stay in the game, reaching base for a second time. And Blankenship, the number 9 hitter, will not try to bunt. Again, 9 hitter with the second best on base percentage of the team. You let her swing away. A&M has now hit more batters than they have hits allowed. It's 3-2 in that titanic struggle. There's a bunt push foul.
Well, and on the other side, A&M has yet to even get a runner past first base. South Carolina has had a couple of opportunities with a runner in scoring position in this game.
Runners on base today, they are 0 for 7. Blankenship takes one low. When the odds would say South Carolina has a better chance of bursting through the dam here, just because they've had traffic, they've had a runner on 3 of the 4 innings against Kennedy. But Kennedy keeps working her way out. That is a called third strike, tight to the inside to freeze Blankenship. 4th strikeout in relief for Emily Kennedy.
Like this location of a pitch right at the knees. Looked like a drop ball in the inside corner. Cuts across the plate. Good spot for that pitch.
Seven strikeouts, A&M pitching. Jordan Fabian. Had a hard line drive out to left field her last time after 2 strikeouts. We asked Bev Smith, who do you trust? Who do you want up in a big moment? Fabian, one of the first names she said. 5th-year senior. Broke South Carolina's single season walk record last year. 25 home runs. That's tied for 5th in Carolina history.
Ball inside.
There goes the runner to second, and the throw on Sellers is late. Emma Sellers with a stolen base. South Carolina's first of the game and 110th of the season.
Yeah, good team speed, good base running for South Carolina this season, using that speed to move into scoring position. Again, every 60 feet in this game, critically important.
And another hit by pitch. Fabian takes one off the elbow. She is hit for the 12th time this year, and South Carolina is hit for the 4th time today.
Victory or luck for the Aggies in the SEC tournament before this year.
1-8. Strike 1 to Leno. The one win was last year against South Carolina, the 12-13 game. And they lost to Florida. This is the crazy part. 1-8. 5 of the 8 losses, 1-run losses. A&M's played 9 games ever at the SEC tournament. Those 9 games have been decided by a total of 13 runs.
That's a crazy stat.
So if you're an A&M fan and you watch this tournament every year, you got to be thinking, I must have taped last year's game for 21. It's the same thing every year. Ball 1-2 Leno. With the right-hander Levitt ready and the right-hander Blampede looming. Perhaps the final batter for Emily Kennedy. One, two. Leno strikes out. 2 down in the 8th.
Lefty on lefty matchup. She goes to this curveball on the outside corner, gets her to swing and miss. What a big out with the runner in scoring position.
And Trish is going to stick with her for the 3-hitter. Riley Blampede to take one a little low. Blampede nothing for 3. 38 RBIs, most on the Carolina roster. This is a player, Riley Blampede, who could have gone just about anywhere she wanted to out of high school. Chose South Carolina over Alabama and Florida State. Was an extraordinary high school player. Slow start to her Carolina career, 190 in 2021. Last year led the SEC in doubles. This year another consistent part of the lineup. Blampede takes ball 2. If you could place a hitter in this spot, if you're Bev Smith, it might well be Riley Blampede. And Blampede chases a high one. A rise ball for strike 2.
Gosh, she can throw so hard, and some of these cuts are so big against her power pitches. Haven't seen her use that off-speed pitch a ton. Hasn't looked great in her outings so far.
2-2. Would you be tempted to go off speed here or keep going with what's working?
I'd go with what's working.
2 strikes.
Yeah. She's giving it away a little bit too much today.
Sellers and Fabian the runners. A ground ball from Blampede. It sneaks through. Here comes Sellers. She will score. And South Carolina finally breaks the dam in the 8th inning. It is indeed Riley Blampede to make it 1-0 Gamecocks.
Her last RBI was April 11th versus Clemson 12 games ago, but Riley Blampede, who Bev Smith said she is so clutch for us. Good base running to move out of the way of that ball. And Jordan Fabian, Sellers is going to score the first run of this game. Finally, somebody breaks through.
Johnny Goborn in the circle. Hannah Hawley is going to bat here in the cleanup spot. Now, Nia Black, the cleanup hitter, has been removed from the game twice. Oh gosh, we have a lightning strike and this game is going to be suspended. Well, how's that for timing? That's a rhetorical question. Don't answer it. A 4:02, 2 out, top of the 8th. Suspension for a lightning strike in the area tomorrow morning. And yeah, of course, after 4 hours and 10 minutes, we resume with the hit by pitch. Could there have been any other way to start this? A 5th hit by pitch delivered by a Texas A&M pitcher, and it's Emily Kennedy who hits the South Carolina pinch hitter Hannah Hawley.
And it looks like Julia Cottrell got a hit on her shoulder area, bicep area, off the ricochet.
Hey, if you're a South Carolina batter today, it's got to be a heads-up kind of situation in the box. Because Kennedy and Ackerman have been pitching in.
It's an important situation right here, too, with the amount of hit-by pitches that there have been in this game. There's no room to put anybody else. And right now, it's just a one-run game, and you just need one out. You'd much rather go to the bottom of the 8th down by 1 than down by multiple runs against Donnie Goborn.
So Kai Ricks is going to pinch run at first, and Jen Cummings can break this game open. I mean, 1-0 against Donnie Goborn is a Kilimanjaro-sized task. 2, 3, 4. You might as well make it K2 and Everest. 2-0 for Cummings. Talk me through Emily Kennedy here. Throws the last pitch at 4:02, a 4-hour-plus delay. What is that like as a pitcher to return from that?
Yeah, it's tough because you get in such a zone earlier today whenever you warmed up to roll into her relief appearance. It can be extremely difficult. Then you have to re-warm back up, and you hope that you feel similar to how you did before, because Emily Kennedy was throwing well. Take away those hit-by pitches. She's done a good job in this game.
2-1 for Cummings. Bases loaded. Fouled straight back, 2-2. Jen Cummings, the on-base percentage leader for South Carolina, 509. Few at-bats with the bases loaded, 2 for 4. 35 walks lead the team. She has been hit by 18 pitches, so you throw it near her and she's not going to get out of the way. Kennedy's 2-2. A ground ball to first. It is knocked down by Cannon, and she will tag Cummings. And we are hits in the game. Infield singles in the first and third. And Donnie Goborn has faced 13 batters and retired 12. The only batter to reach Trinity Cannon with a walk. There hasn't even been any really scary contact against her. Rylan Wiggins will try to change that. And Wiggins, the first pitch swing, a high fly ball into left field. Rylan Wiggins is robbed. Marissa Gonzalez against the wall. Pulls it back for Carolina.
Yeah, Rylan Wiggins undoubtedly is one of the hitters that you want at the plate in this situation if you're A&M, and she is aggressive. She gets a pitch that she likes on the inner half, and Gonzalez just tracks it down, sticks her hand out to try to find the fence, and jumps. And as she jumps, it got away from her after the heel of her gloves, but she just was able to cradle it. And Donnie Goborn absolutely loved it. A&M, on the other hand, was crushed on the third base side.
We have seen some kind of outfield play today. Tate Whitley for Ole Miss in our first game, and Gonzalez, whose play was maybe made even more impressive by the fact that she didn't catch it. 2-0 now for Bree Warren. I mean, you knew we weren't going to have a 4-hour rain delay and then have a normal resumption to this game. And Bev Smith's going to take a timeout.
Well, you know, during that break, sitting on the bus, eating their food, A&M was 205 feet.
So 2-0 to Warren out of the timeout. And that's not close.
If you're Bree Warren, this has to be an automatic take right here. Maybe 2 automatic takes until you get 2 strikes. She's been so far off with these pitches.
It was an automatic take. It is a walk. The tying run is aboard with 1 out. And the winning run will be at the plate in the form of Allie Enright. Allie Enright, a sophomore from Santa Clarita, California, Arizona transfer. Home runs in her last 2 regular season games, and Enright takes aim at strike 1. Only had 2 homers on the year before those last 2. Her playing time and her confidence have increased the final month plus for Texas A&M. That's a little high, 1-1.
Seems like Goborn's velocity just a little bit down from where it was earlier today, where she was just pounding the zone at 72, 73, mixing in that changeup at 55. That changeup right there. I mean, that one, wow. A&M has been selling out so hard for 70 miles an hour inside or up in the zone that this changeup that just falls off the table has had them in fits.
Missed it by that much. Enright looks like she's going to walk back into the dugout in between every pitch. The human rain delay. It is legal in the moment. 2-2 for Enright. Warren at first. Allie takes strike 3. Donnie Goborn's 6th strikeout in relief. And Texas A&M is down to its final out, with South Carolina on the doorstep of a quarterfinal appearance. Don't think Tricia Ford loved that 3rd strike call. She's also going to send up a pinch hitter here in Grace Uribe. This is the spot of Star Ferguson, the number 9 hitter. But she will not bat. An official warning was just given to the Texas A&M dugout for arguing balls and strikes as well. So Grace Uribe, 7 for 30 on the year, a couple of walks, 1 home run. Star Ferguson has only 1 extra base hit on the year, so they're going to go to Uribe, who has a little bit more pop in her bat. The junior from Huntington Beach, California, trying to keep A&M alive in the SEC tournament. And Uribe takes a strike. Two-way player, Uribe has become more of a hitter than a pitcher this year. Ball. It's a South Carolina team that missed the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. Last 3 seasons have been either a 13 or an 11 seed a year. Looking to advance to the quarterfinals. And they are 1 strike away from doing just that.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Goborn's 1-2. It is inside.
Such a good pitch. It's so hard just not to flinch at that. You see how aggressive she is with her delivery and her arm circle, her arm speed, and doesn't slow anything down. Completely sells that pitch.
The 2-2 out of the mitt of Julia Desiderio. For a fraction of time, had the game in the glove.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Warren the tying run at first. The 2-2 is not close. And that'll give Bree Warren a head start.
You can tell that ever since we restarted this game, Donnie Goborn not quite been the same as how she pitched earlier today before we had the delay.
The velocity, the command, not as sharp. Can she find one more? Uribe takes ball 4. Goborn wanted it. Marty Abzetian said it's a little outside. Looked to be. And 2 walks in the inning. put the winning runs on base for Texas A&M. And now Trisha Ford's going to get a pinch runner in for Uribe at first. Looks like Ferguson will return to the game. So Uribe does her job, only her third walk of the season. And Texas A&M has a runner at second base for the first time in the game. And Coco Woolley with the winning runs aboard takes a strike.
It's a good pitch to get ahead right there. And Coco Woolley 1 for 3 today. Has had some good at bats off of Goborn. Seems like she's been seeing her fairly well.
Woolley 1 for 3. And a big swing and a miss. That was a wicked off-speed pitch.
Just when you think you're seeing her well, then she brings that pitch out and you are just fooled. It's not only the change of speed, it's the down movement with that pitch. Good job is to get rid of that.
I mean, I don't think we've seen a pitch harder than 65 since she returned, and A&M certainly looks more comfortable. They are down to their final strike again, though. And Woolley takes another non-competitive ball. What does it tell you when a pitcher misses down this much?
Yeah, to me, her timing is just a little bit off. She moves so quickly with her upper and lower body, and her timing was really synced up earlier in the game today, and a little bit off right now.
1-2. Woolley stays alive again.
Hey, check that. Is that right?
Seems like, too, it might be the rise ball that's either slipping out of her hand or her timing is off a little bit. She hasn't been able to go up in the zone as much, but that change has been working.
1-2. Woolley, that's foul. Just past the watchful eyes of Zoe Leno.
I got you. I got you.
And if you're Coco Woolley, even with 2 strikes, you're just trying to get the top of the ball. She has so much speed. Be able to make South Carolina make a play here. Be able to make them play catch, field a ground ball, make a throw, make a catch.
The tying run, Warren. The winning run, Ferguson. This is going to be the 9th pitch Goborn throws with 1 strike to get for the win. Basically the 9th time at match point. And it is well in the dirt.
It's a great way of putting that. I like how you just worded that, kind of put it into context, right? 1 pitch away from winning this game.
I guess technically she's 1 pitch away with Uribe batting, but 1 strike away now for a 10th time. And Woolley pops it up short left field, and Gonzalez is there. South Carolina survives the Fayetteville Marathon. And the Gamecocks ride the right arm of Donnie Goborn, and it is
Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and